So first you're going to find your dataset. I have gone onto the Manchester City Council website and found the council's expenditure over a period of 6 months. I downloaded the data from October 2021 and March 2022. Once downloaded, you will have 6 separate sheets of data. To bring them onto a single Microsoft Excel document, open each of the documents one by one, select the entire spreadsheet, or press Command and A on a Mac like I am doing here, then copy it onto your clipboard or press Command and C. Next, you just need to paste it into a brand new Excel spreadsheet, press Command and V to paste, and now you have combined all 6 datasets into one sheet. Now we're just going to clean that data. This can take some time unless you're familiar with Microsoft Excel, so I'll show you some tips to help you. Firstly, we need to remove all of the extra column titles that were copied across, the first of which says body name. Here you can see it is highlighted in yellow, so just find those and delete the rows as that isn't usable data. Once that's done, I have frozen the top row by going onto View and Freeze Top Pane. Then highlight all of the data, clicking on the top left button of the sheet, or Command and A. Then we're going to sort the data. You can do this from the Home tab at the top or go into Data, then Filter. Today, to keep it simple, we'll look at Environment and Operations, so I've filtered the data through Service Area. Then Environment and Operations on the All Data tab. Copy and paste this into a new tab as you've now extrapolated the data you will use. I've called this Environment and Operations Data tab 2. Now we'll get on to doing 2 kinds of formula. We need to find out how many payments have been made to each supplier and how much they were paid. At the end, we'll be left with a list of the suppliers, the number of times payments have been made to them by the Manchester City Council, and the amount that was given to them in each payment. I used the count if and the sum if formulae here, which will be fully explained in the article. Here's the speedier version. Copy the suppliers column into a new tab of the sheet and name it. Then go into the Data tab and remove the duplicates. For the number of payments column, it's a count if formula where you will set a range. The thing to be aware of here is to choose the correct range and criteria, and also don't forget to put commas in between. A great thing about Microsoft Excel is you only need to do that formula once for each column. Just drag down the bottom right corner of the cell with the formula and there you have it. Lastly, here's what you can do on Flourish to show your data in an eye-catching picture, and this is known as visualizing the data. All I've done here is chosen one of the bar graphs from Flourish. Here is the stacked version. Then go into the Data tab and upload data from the MCC spreadsheet, and in particular the Services tab of the sheet that we were working on. You can see the data we worked on has been uploaded. Then click into Preview to see it. I'm just changing a few of the settings like the colour palette and the labels. Have a play around with it and see what works for you. Happy visualizing!
Here's another way to tackle several spreadsheets together, and personally, it's my favorite. I'm going to talk you through the process now, and I promise it's very easy. First, you'd have to have RStudio installed on your machine. There's a link in the bio below if you don't have it installed already. Then you go on the web and decide what datasets you'd like to look at. And for this example, I've used Bristol's Council, spent over £500 for the last 6 months. So this may happen if you try to open the files, if you're on a Mac like me, so just right-click and download them. After that, open RStudio and select New Project and make sure it's saved somewhere you can easily find it. I have a projects folder where I'll go now and find this new project and create a new folder inside it, which I call Data. I'll store the files here. Now go back to RStudio. If you try to import just one of the datasets, you can do that, but we're looking at combining them together to extract the data. So here's where things get complicated, or not that much, don't worry. You have to load the library first, and we'll be using Tidyverse for that. If you don't have it, go and install it from Packages on the right-hand side. Press Command and Enter. I'll declare a variable called Files, and inside Files, I want you to list the files using this function, and then we have path equals quote marks, because it is a string, /data, so it navigates the program to look at the files into the data folder. The pattern we are looking for is string, star, and dot to tell it that anything that ends into CSV we would like it to include, and all of our files are saved as CSVs. Recursive equals true, so it can include everything if there's more than one folder, and full names true. Hit Command Enter and that will now appear as a list in our environment section. I'll now declare a new variable that I called Bristol6 and I'll use a function called lapply, which will loop the files and combine them together. So that's why I put files, the list we just created, inside the brackets, and I want you to read it as CSV. Hit Command Enter. Now you can ask for a summary which will show you some insights of the data. After that, I'll set a new variable and tell it to look inside the previous list using the pipeline symbol %, and the function group by. So in this case, I checked that I want to group by description 1, which is in this case the type of what they spent money on, and summarize it by amount. It's important you put description 1 into these commas because there's a space in between and the program won't read it. Then I'm using the arrange function and I would like it to make the table into descending order, and I'm typing spent because that's what we set the summarized amount to be called in the previous line. And then we have a pivot table which you can use to visualize the data or decide to look into more details as to what kind of payments are included into conversion and renovation for this example, but that should give you a rough perception of the spendings. Here's a quick graph I came up with on RStudio as well. Let us know whether you would like us to make a tutorial on visualizing with ggplot.